Hello everyone, this is Adrianovo992 and today we're back for another brand new video. In today's video, yes, I am back for the 4th consecutive day, people. Apologies about that, but we are here for the best reason possible, to sit here, react and discuss a fantastic Rangers win, a clean sheet and some history to boot. Speaking of boot, by the way, and yes, I do realise starting a sentence off with that is always hot water, people, but all I was going to say there is, if you didn't mind booting that like button, if you haven't done so already, it helps the channel out so much as we're trying to reach 60,000 subscribers. So if you didn't mind hitting the like button, that would be sensational. And if you haven't done that yet, by the way, and you haven't subscribed, please consider doing both, as we're on our way to hopefully hitting that 60k marker. But we're obviously here to discuss Rangers 2, Dundee United 0, and a game of football that could have been a banana skin, that could have been a grey hair turner, and some might argue the large majority of that first half certainly was, and trust me, we'll get into that. But I want to look at this game and speak about it from an overview, because if we're honest, between me and thee, what we played against this evening is the reason why there's no money in this country. This, what we played against today, and that style of football and that mindset of football is why Scotland ranks 16th out of 20 leagues, people, in terms of revenue and money and people willing to actually put some money into it, because that wasn't a 5 at the back that we played against. It wasn't a 6, it wasn't a 7, it wasn't a 8. That was genuinely 9. At the back, we are centre forward standing at the halfway line, looking like a lamppost for the large majority of the game, with a McDonald's sign on the napper and a goalie. That's what we played against this evening. We had absolutely everyone piling forward, trying to create space, but we were up against just absolute negativity in the true definition. You get to see negativity with Goodwin's face in the dictionary, and negativity with that type of performance right there. So I'm not going to sit here and be overly critical, maybe overly negative in the fact that it wasn't a 4, 5 and 6, especially in that first half, because again, you can only say much with what you're actually given, and what we were given was pathetic this evening. We done everything on our parts, and I've been frustrated on us being overly cautious with the ball and side by side and slow, but that wasn't what we had today, despite it being a frustrating first half. No, we had everybody gone forward this afternoon, people. Connor Goldson was playing centre attacking mid for large majority of those games, so we certainly added a lot, and Michael Beale picks up his 14th win out of 15 SPFL games, people. That is frightening. That is also 43 points out of 45 available. So anyone who's having any lingering doubts or having digs at this laddie, maybe take a step back and be appreciative of what we're actually seeing, because what we are seeing in terms of starting and coming in and having a league run like this to kick off, we've not seen it too many times in our history, people. He's up there with the very best in terms of starts to the Rangers career. So when Michael Beale's done with picking up all the pieces that was absolutely shattered to bits and dreadful looking under Gio, and where the board was actually leading us, wee bit of respect to Michael Beale I feel is needed with this fantastic run that he's actually put us on. And I kind of need to speak about run for a few more seconds, because before I get lost in the game recap and break down the game and maybe do a line or two here or there, we need to stand back and appreciate greatness, because what we saw this afternoon was Allan McGregor's 500th game for Rangers. 500th game, people. Everybody can have their favourites. Again, I think the consensus is Gorham will always be the greatest ever goalie to pull on a pair of gloves for this fantastic football club. I mean, his nickname was the goalie, and if you're a goalie and your nickname's the goalie and everybody knows you as the goalie, it says about your abilities. But for maybe my generation and younger, you'll look at this guy as your greatest of all time. And I think the best compliment you can actually give in Allan McGregor is if somebody looks you in the eyes and you ask them, and everything, like you're having a conversation who's the greatest goalkeeper ever played for Rangers, if they say McGregor, it's no sacrilegious anymore. You didn't get angry, you didn't get offended, because the man's had so many big moments, so many big saves, so many big performances. You step back and say, that is fair enough. So a wee bit of appreciation to the actual greatness of Allan McGregor. Phenomenal record. I believe he's only the 16th player in Rangers' history to reach that 500k or above marker. Incredible that. So I just wanted to start today's video off by giving a wee bit of respect to one of my all-time favourite players of all time. Again, I've had to take digs up over the last year and that, because again he has been on the decline, but this makes me happy. Can I just have a moment to give a bit of respect to one of my all-time greats, please? And I I wanted to do that. He also won man of the match, by the way. Now, taking everything I've just said into context here, people, as much as I love McGregor, was he the man of the match in this game? No, that's the sponsors wanting to meet McGregor after the game. The man of the match was none other than a returning guy from injury who started the game and bossed the game and added creative quality and genius that, again, we've not got too much of in the squad and we've been robbed of for maybe decades, if you will. That is none other than Malik, 20-year-old eagle in the heart, Tillman, people, who picks up his 12th goal of the season. That is frightening, and it's also his 16 goal contribution in total, by the way. Can I remind you, the lad's 20-year-old, can I remind you he got wasted out in the right for large parts of the season, and can I remind you this is his first season at the top level, being a professional week in and week out. Is anybody else getting Bassey vibes? Now, I've sat here and said that for weeks and months, but I feel like now we're starting to see him maybe do the industry side of the game that some people weren't too happy with. And now you're seeing a guy with all the potential, everything in front of him. I mean, he's good to know. He's a standout in this league and everything like that right now. It's his first season playing week in and week out. Imagine a year under his belt. Imagine 6 years when he gets to the same age as Joe Rebo, when Joe Rebo had his best year in a Rangers shirt. Can you imagine where this young lad is going to be? I'm not going to go into this too much because I know I've sat here and bored his with it enough. But if we didn't sign this laddie, it will be an absolute disgrace. 5 million has never looked so cheap. And aye, people, his greatness was there to be shown once again, along with Cantwell and along with Kent. Again, the three of them just being as creative and moving and everything. It's just a joy to watch. And the long-term viewers of this channel and all that, with the 10 years and that we've been doing this channel, we haven't seen a lot of creative brilliance and greatness and just seen creative freedom like that a lot. And just to see it out there on the park is obviously a major boost. And that leads us right in to the old game recap, because the first main talking point in the actual game, the first chance that was created, comes from just Tillman being the only player on the park capable of doing this. I'll take you back to the 7th minute. Morelos touches the ball, flops up like a fish wanting a free kick, leaving Tillman completely on his own. Tillman has 7 players on him, people. And this isn't me doing a Motherwell recount when I say he had 767 of them chasing him when he scored at Fir Park. I mean in 7 players to be on his complete aim. He carries one on his back like he's taking him to school for lunch at 12:30, people. He takes him a walk, and then he just slides a ridiculous through ball without even looking out to Ryan Kent, who's burst a gut to actually get there. Kent then finds Barisic. The ball gets whipped in to the back post. Fawn to Tavernier. Should probably be a goal, but it ends up being a save by the old keeper. That's Tillman being the only player in the park being able to pick a ball like that when someone's trying to shove him off. The strength, the creative genius, and the composure to drive with the ball. No panic, no turn round, no play it safe. Just to drive with the ball and believe in his attacking teammates to get in a position where they should. And that's exactly what he did. You can tell the lad has been well schooled in the football, and you can tell again, he's just levels. But there was also someone else who flexed once again his levels and shows they shouldn't be dropped for petty minutes for other players, and that is Ben Davies, because how well we actually started in terms of trying to make things click. In the 8th minute, Dundee United got in behind us after Lundstrom's first touch was a slide challenge. Surprise to surprise, and goals and tries to nip in, can't get there. It's played in behind. It's a 3-on-1 for Dundee United, but you know who the one is? Ben never spoke a word in his life. Davies, people, is patient. Disney give them the easy pass, makes them make the difficult choice to either shoot from a narrow angle to beat McGregor or go for the pass. The guy doesn't fancy that. He tries to go for a pass, and Davies, right place at the right time, showing once again what an incredible defender that man actually is. And we needed that, people, because the next chance, just 5 minutes later, after some spelly possession, we were trying to break things down, Morelos ends up trying to pass it to Kent, passes it a mile behind them. That sets them on our counter-attack. It then goes to Sybil, who has a long ranger, but thankfully it goes just over the bar, as we were nearly stung there with a bit of slackness for the old Alfredo Morelos, who was back once again for the start, which probably shows you where Michael Beale's leaning in terms of going to Parkhead. I feel like that starting 11 will be very, very similar to what we see next week. with just hopefully the inclusion of Raskin instead of John Lundstrom. But let's jump a little bit forward into the first half, because again there was one penalty shout early on in the game as Cantwell has a shot that spilled by the goalie. Honestly, it looked horrific. The goalie looked very, very nervous. Tillman tries to nip in. He's expecting the contact to come. To be fair to the goalie, he doesn't give Tillman the opportunity, and Tillman ends up falling over. For me, it's no a penalty kick, this one. I know the defender's giving him a slight wee nudge there, shoulder to shoulder, which does actually create the fall, but I think Tillman, the way his feet are moving, is expecting the goalie to nail him. The goalie doesn't. So this shin, I might be wrong, and you can correct me in the comments because you know I'm a Tillman fanboy, but for me, that's not a penalty. From that resulting bit of play as well, by the way, BB got a bandage on the old noggin, joining a select few of Croatians to wear bandages while playing for Rangers, like this guy right here, like this guy right here, like him previously at Ibrox, but now Barisic has also got one once again in the old famous blue. But we then have to go a wee bit more into the future again, because again we were still trying to get things going, we were still trying to go forward. Goulton was playing pretty much as an attacking midfielder, but it did require a moment in magic, and that's what's been lacking in seasons gone by and in games gone by, when we didn't have the type of players that we have in terms of the Cantwells and the Tillmans and all that we have right now. This goal isn't happening, and we're huffing and puffing and we're failing to blow the old Houston people, but it's just outrageous. The build-up's nice. Kent, nice little wee 1-2 with the Barisic down the left, cuts in, plays it by Jacko, who leaves it on a dummy. It goes to Goulton, who's piling forward, and you know what I like about Goldilocks here is he just drills it into the feet of Cantwell. Now that ball was absolutely ridiculous to be able to control or make anything of. There's very select few in this league that will be able to turn that into a pass, but thankfully Todd Cantwell is this ridiculous pass in behind the defence. First time pass, a ball that's getting... It's a joke, people. It really, really is. And what's perfect about this is it was met beautifully by the fact that the ball drops to Tillman, who doesn't panic. Maybe shows a bit more composure than Tavernier earlier in the first half. It's a similar side and it's a similar volley, but this time he just puts it beyond the goalie. It's a ridiculous goal, and I love the fact that Cantwell was the one that assisted it and Tillman was the one who scored it, because again, there's not too many in this league that can do actually either. And I'm sorry if I'm annoying you with the fact that I'm so happy being able to watch that standard of football and seeing this narrative that we need grafters, we need these boys, we need these boys. That's all fading away now, people, as we're all starting to come to the understanding that if you put good footballers on the park, do you know what comes with that? Good football, ladies and gentlemen, and now we're getting to seeing it. And again, Cantwell's just outstanding as well. He does a brilliant wee turn away a minute or two later, skips behind the Dundee United player, plays in a ridiculously good ball to Morelos, who unfortunately takes one of the worst first touches I've ever seen, and I saw John Lundstrom 10 minutes before that, but as the replay showed, he was offside, so I'm going to pretend Morelos knew he was offside and he didn't ruin one of the potential goals of the season with a first touch that would have made Lundstrom blush. But moving away from there, we got the 1-0 lead, we had all the momentum. It was just about adding to that second goal and really putting it to the sword. And to be fair, if there was another player who deserves to be mentioned here in terms of wanting to get in the ball and the willingness to try and create, and is maybe not getting the rub of the green, do you know what I mean? That touch for Cantwell and that pass is phenomenal. The fact that it curves there and drops right to Tillman to volley, that is maybe Lady Luck smiling right onto you and everything like that. Kent, on the other hand, is just no got any luck, people. The only luck he's got is bad luck, and it shows you just before half-time. As him and Cantwell just have their shot. He's just playing good football after we've done about 40-45 passes in this build-up. Kent then beats a man, drops the shoulder, hits a left-footed peg. It's curling, it's dipping, but it hits the underside of the bar and comes back out. When I tell you this boy's got no luck, I really, really mean it. And you've seen it by his reaction. I felt so bad for him, man. He's just like, what do I need to do to get a bit of luck in this Rangers shirt? And that's been the way for Ryan Kent for a long time. Now, if we're being fair here and treating every player the exact same way as we treat Antonio Cholak, especially in his last performance versus Motherwell, Morelos should have his second goal of the game, as he missed a header earlier on where he had a free header that he put wide, and just before half time Tav whips in a good corner. Tillman's actually playing the Rebo role here. Try saying that 5 times fast. Attacking the front post. He flicks it on to the back. Morelos has to put it in, but he can't get enough on his header as he ends up spooning it wide. And that drew the curtain in a first half that genuinely had some fantastic moments and quality, but again, the only thing that was lacking is mere goals to actually be created. But again, when you've got 9 men sitting in a box, people, it can be very, very difficult. The only change I was wanting to see is, I feel like because they were playing so defensive, I'd like to see a Cholak given an opportunity to play alongside Morelos, because this type of game versus this dross that we were playing and the way they were playing, again, I'm not trying to be disrespectful, but see when you come out and do that, what do you want me to actually say? You know what I mean? They came out there with only one thing in mind. I'd have liked to see him take the handbrake off a little bit, but the one handbrake we did have in the team was actually John Lundstrom. And it's weird because he's probably done everything that Michael Beale would have asked him today going out there on that park. Sit back, allow Connor Goldson to go forward, let the full-backs go forward and just sit one-on-one on Stevie Fletcher, and he done that, people. He's barely involved in anything going forward. Again, the argument could be made Goldson played a better centre mid role tonight than John Lundstrom, but again, if you watch, he's no hiding. I know some people were saying that line, he's scared or his confidence gone. He's just doing a man mark job to Stephen Fletcher that, in my opinion, it's probably paying a little bit too much respect to the actual opposition, and that's all I really wanted to say. I know he's getting absolutely slaughtered, but I don't think he's hiding. If you look at him every single time, he's right on Fletcher's shoulder. Now, the question should be why Michael Beale wants Connor Goldson to be more of the midfield guy, driving balls and being the creator rather than Lundstrom, but that's the way the game actually unfolded. The only thing I can really think of here, people, and this might be just me being absolutely silly, I wonder if we've done that and we've said that to Lundstrom just to get a bit of experience and let the other boys get that experience in that role, because we might be employing that next week versus Celtic. Now, I know not a lot of you will be happy at me suggesting that Lundstrom could be starting, but will he sit there and do a similar job and maybe a O or, of course, Kyogo if he's starting? Probably, people. So there might have been something in that was a wee indication of how we want to play in terms of Lundstrom, and that allows Goldson to go forward. Maybe I'm talking rubbish here, maybe I'm rambling, but let's get to the second half, where again it really became the Tillman show, and every moment we needed an injection, this 20-year-old laddie put us on his back and just had skill, ability. I just didn't get it, right? Because he is slow. Like, he is slow. Again, I've said it before, but Professor Xavier would beat him in a race. But the way he moves with the ball looks so quick. It's so unique, and he's just a phenomenal talent. And his goal, I'm not going to do this justice here. All I will say is, see when he gets the ball in the box, I think the best compliment I can give him is, I was screaming, didn't he pass that to Morelos? Because I trust Tillman more to put the ball away than the guy leading their number 9. I don't know if that's BS, and I don't know if you'll shout at me for saying that, but I had utter belief and confidence that despite I'm having a man here, a man here, a man here, and a goalie, Tillman had the better opportunity to being the creator and being the guy than Alfredo. And the proof was in the pudding, people. As he fakes a wee bit shot, has one of the defenders gone, waits for it, doesn't rush it, and picks his moment. He doesn't rush, he doesn't panic, he picks his moment to shoot, and it's in the back of net. It's now his second goal of the game, and the best thing you could say is he didn't go hat-trick hunting, despite him having a long-range shot a minute or two later, which was well saved by the goalie. You look at his ability to pull the strings after that, because he knew the Dundee United players were trying everything to stop him from getting a hat-trick, so he put the team first, and he created numerous opportunities for us to add a third, fourth and sixth to this actual game. And I think that's the only frustration in this game for me personally, is the fact that we didn't add to it, because we had numerous opportunities. I mean, he's dragged back, wait, and then no look past the Kent down the right for Kent then to pick out Barisic, who was unlucky with an actual header, was great, people. The fact that he was able to run down the left-hand side channel, almost like a Lundstrom versus Leipzig, if you remember that run. He just takes it to the byline, sets up Tavernier, who forces the keeper into another sort of point-blank save. That should have been another assist for the laddie. He was just everywhere you wanted him to be, and from that moment where he ran to the wide, got into the box, played it to Tav, the ball went up in the air. Morelos is sitting like this, getting ready to header it, and the Dundee United player comes from behind him and just straight out shoves him in the back, people. It's two-handed. Yes, we're 2-0 up. Yes, we're cruising. Yes, we're dominating. But is that a penalty kick? Yes. So why are we seeing pity points given out like this, and it really should have given the opportunity to Tillman to maybe get his hat-trick and get a hat-trick in a Rangers shirt and everything like that. But aye, they look at it and then they just go away for it. But for me, this one is a stonewall penalty kick, as is the one in the last minute where the header ends up getting palmed out. Because remember the penalty we conceded with Cholak was on his way down and the header hits him in the actual area. It's the exact same, but there was pity getting put out there, and it should be the letter of the law, and the referee shouldn't feel sorry for the opposition, but Dittery Don was at it again. Now, before I do speak about the last 15-20 minutes when we started to make some changes, because Morelos actually had a really good shot that was well saved by the goalie, because I think he was angry that he didn't get the penalty, but then we brought on Sakala, and then we brought on Scott Wright, and I'm not being harsh when I say this, people, but they were probably Dundee United's best players this evening, because they done more defending than their actual defenders, and they had so many opportunities to create, they just couldn't get it. All pace, all effort, all enthusiasm. Just very little end product. But there was a couple moments where Dundee United at least tried to counter, and that's where I want to give a special shout out to again Ben Davies, who I thought was excellent, and I always joke that he's never spoke a word, but honestly he's so calm and he's such a perfect partner with Goldson. I can't wait to see going into next season and everything like that, these two continue to build forward, because again, the only word that lad's ever uttered in his life is probably when he's sitting in a taxi and there's that 15-20 seconds awkward silence and you go, what time are you on till? That's the only thing he says. But with the weird substitutions with 25 minutes to go, again we had opportunities to get in. Sakala overhitting a couple passes, Scott Wright overhitting a couple crosses. With 5 minutes to go we then ring more changes. Suter, Arfield, Cholak finally comes on. What did Cholak do? Not to come on when we made the substitutions earlier on in the game. Did he say he didn't like Chelsea Football Club or something? That for me was very weird. But the big man ends up getting into the end there, cross right away with his first touch, ends up rolling it wide, and again he should have, in fact he did win us a penalty kick, or should have won us a penalty kick, but the referee said nah. But he also had a really good moment where again we're countering. We have a breakaway where he ignores the ball. He lets it go in between his legs. Lets Scott Wright get it, and he's screaming, Scott, just pass it to me and I'll tap it in, son. Scott hits it with like a driver, and it ends up going out for a throw in. It's just one of them. Sakala had one as well, where it was a 4-on-2, but it was just unfortunate the ball was on Sakala's foot, not anybody else's, as he overhits the pass. Kent does do well to recover it, by the way, and sprint to catch it and cut inside, but again, there's no luck for him because his shot was not blocked by the first defender, the second defender, but it was blocked by the third defender. And that's all I really got to say. For me, it was 2-0, going on a bigger scoreline. I think we've done enough. I thought there was enough creativity this afternoon. Very, very enthused about what I've seen, especially for the likes of Tillman. There's all this BS about, oh, he's not happy, oh, he doesn't want to be here. That's nonsense. People, it's not absolute nonsense. There's no truth in that at all. I don't know. In fact, I don't care where you read it. I don't care what you saw. It's not true, and I'm telling you right now, people. All right. So there you are. I'm very excited to see the future, and I think the future will be very blue for Malik Tillman. And that's all. Say on that until another couple of weeks. But that's it. That's the game. That's the set. That's the match. It was a dominating performance for Rangers versus 9 men in the box. The only saving grace is the fact that Kilmarnock also won versus Hearts this afternoon, I believe, so that gives even more fairness for Dundee United. So be very interesting to see how their season unfolds. But that is us done and dusty. What is your thoughts and opinions? Let me know down there in the comment section below. And who was your man of the match? Because I know Kent never scored, but I thought he was great. Cantwell again. I just love watching this guy play. Tillman was great. I thought Morelos, despite me maybe mentioning a couple of things, had an okay game, but again, wasn't as sharp as you want. Jacko was excellent. I thought the two centre-backs were great. The full-backs were bombing forward. And again, McGregor won the official man of the match, but we know what all that was. What about you? Let me know your thoughts and opinions. As always, I've been sieging over 92. I've actually got a charity game coming, by the way, in Bayview Stadium tomorrow. If you want to come and have a wee look, we're raising money for autism. It's the YouTube team, it's my boys and everything like that. Come in here. We're going to play a side over there. So if you are from that area, if you are from East Fife and you fancy watching a wee bit of football tomorrow, I'll be there again. We're raising money for autism and everything like, trying to make a difference. So if anybody wants to come, there's it right there. I would greatly appreciate any the support. But either way, people, I will see yous in the very next video. Take care of yourselves. All the best and bye-bye.